everybody, Michelle here. Thought I'd come on today and do a book review. Yes, I know I haven't done one of these in quite some time, but my friend Jennifer, I love you so much, bought me this book, Kiss the Dead by Laurell K Hamilton. And anybody who knows me knows I absolutely love Laurell K Hamilton. Not just like a recent love, but we're talking I have all the paperback books and the original covers, first editions. So, I've been in love with Anita and her clan for quite some time now. This is, I believe, book number 21 in the Anita Blake series. And the cover is absolutely gorgeous. There we go. Get it all in there. Has her picture on the back, if anybody doesn't know what Laurell K Hamilton looks like. I'm going to go ahead and read you, like, the inside panels. Just the back of it? Yeah, I'm going to read you the inside panel real quick, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts and takes on this book. It says, when a 15-year-old girl is abducted by vampires, it is up to U.S. Marshal Anita Blake to find her. And when she does, she is faced with something she's never seen before. A terrifying, ordinary group of people, kids, grandparents, soccer moms, all recently turned and willing to die to avoid serving a master. And where there's one martyr, there will be more. But even vampires have monsters that they're afraid of, and Anita is one of them. Okay, so basically this book, to me, is... First off, let me tell you, it is... 358 pages, because the last page is only like a quarter page, so that doesn't even count. The first, I want to say, 10, 11, 12 chapters of this book pretty much are dealing with Anita riding to the rescue to save this 15-year-old girl from being turned into a vampire. Originally, she wanted to be turned into a vampire, but then at the last minute, she changed her mind. And so she goes riding to the rescue, and there's like a whole like kiss of vampires, because I guess you know how there's a murder of crows, a gaggle of geese. Well, a kiss is a group of vampires. There's this kiss of vampires, like she says in the synopsis, basically, you know, soccer moms, grandparents who don't want to, they want to be free, because I guess they're pretty much thinking that if they tie to a master that their free will and freedom is gone, so they decide to all like gang up. But even then, I mean, even if you have like a group of people together, you're going to have some kind of leader. There is always a leader. You might not have blood ties as this leader, but he is going to be a leader nonetheless. So anyway, it boils down to the fact that they don't want to be Jean-Claude's whatever, or even the Master Vampire over the Church of Eternal Life. They would rather die. And there comes a time where Anita pretty much has this girl in like handcuffs and shackles at the police station, and she is going to take the head and heart of one of her friends. Well, come on. Come on. You can't tell me you can't jump up here. Come here. Oh. Oh. Say hi to Church. Church. Say hi. Look, there you go. No, this isn't Church. This is her son. Oh my God. Church died. But he is a spitting image of his mother. Except he has no claws. Nope, he has no claws. Okay, back to the book. In this book, the main characters, believe it or not, are Anita and Zabrowski, and even, I would even say more of a hint of Dolph than anybody else. Jean-Claude is in this book quite a bit. There's no Richard. I mean, there's talk of Richard, but no actual, like, Richard in the book, which actually kind of makes me happy, even though I kind of miss Richard. There's absolutely no Jason in this book. and I think Damien is in it for like 5 lines. So her normal characters, her original characters, her original characters are really not in the book. I mean, Micah's in the book, Nathaniel's in the book, but that's because they live with her, they're live-ins. Apparently Anita has taken on, you know, more lovers, and one of them is actually a girl. I believe in the last book it like really touched upon it, but on this book it's pretty much she's one of the regulars that Anita sleeps with, which, hey, more power to you. But anyway, the book to me was interesting. I read it all in a day, except I did not like the ending. I mean, again, the ending, her ending seemed so rushed. I mean, she like, in chapter whatever, she found the, like the human servant. The book starts out in like an interrogation room, and it's this like vampire, I think his name is Barney. He's in the interrogation room, they have him in regular cuffs and shackles, and basically he's pretty much saying, I don't want the SWAT team to go, we want you to go, talking to Anita. And Anita's like, is this a trap for me? And he's like, you have to go to find out. So Anita's like, okay, let's go. So she like gets her little crew of people together, and they go into this like house, and that's where they find the 15-year-old girl, and she's crying, and apparently before like Anita got there, like other officers showed up and went inside, but those 2 officers got murdered. So now Anita, who is now an official federal marshal with a badge, enacts this like rite of passage or whatever, saying, you know, they've killed 2 civilians, we can go in there, not question, and just murder them all. Well, they get into the house, and she's at first like taken back a little bit, because they're all like 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and there's even like, you know, like 87-year-olds in there, like normal people. First of all, it's illegal to turn anybody under the age of 18 into a vampire. So, I mean, there's that issue, and then there's the fact that these kids murdered 2 cops. So Anita, she pretty much just takes them out. She's like, you signed your death warrant when you killed the 2 officers. Well, come to find out, really, they didn't kill anybody. They just watched while the leaders, because they're free vampires, while the leaders murdered them. And Anita figured this out because they hadn't fed. She can tell that because she's like super Anita now. So they basically ended up, you know, slaughtering probably a dozen of the vampires, still leaving a good dozen or more, 24, I think, I don't know, somewhere in their 20s, I guess they're saying, that got left behind. Little fucking rat bastard just bit the shit out of me. He's just like his mother. But, okay, so, anyway, all the people are dead, and then there's the survivors, and then there's the wounded ones, and the wounded ones are pretty much telling her, we would rather die than have you save us, because if you save us, then you inadvertently tie us to Jean-Claude, and we don't want to be tied to any master, blah, 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 blah. So, they die. And, she ends up taking a few of the survivors to the police station, and there's this one girl that she pretty much is like going to take the head and heart of one of her fellow KISS members in front of her, just to get her to talk and tell her where the other people are. And the girl is like freaking out and, you know, screaming, you can't do this, you can't do this, whatever. So anyway, and then I'm like jumping back and forth now. But anyway, Larry, everybody knows that Larry is also a federal agent, a federal marshal. Anita trained him. Now Larry is, I guess, and now Larry has gone and got some like morals, I guess you could say, because, you know, Anita told him, well, you take this body in this room and take the head and heart in front of, you know, those people. And Larry's like, why should I do that? He goes, it's wrong. It's just, it's inhumane, and she's like, we have to take the head and heart anyway, and Larry's just like, I don't see how you can do this. It's pretty much torturing somebody without torturing them, and all going all like, whatever. And Anita's like, fine, whatever, just go stake the ones that are down in the morgue. So now Larry and Anita have like this big brawl going on pretty much, because Larry thinks Anita is one of the monsters now. So that's like ruining their relationship. Okay, so while Anita and them are at this house, I guess another police officer comes in named Billings. He's like pissed off, and he's screaming at Anita, you just need to do your fucking job, you need to do your fucking job. And Anita's like, I will do my job. And at first she was like, but I don't want to have to do my job in front of all these, you know, in front of all the other vampires that are still alive. So Billings, in like an outrage, goes to hit one of the prisoners, because they're now taken into police custody. And Anita like gets to him, grabs his arm as he's mid-swing, and Anita actually like holds on and goes swinging with him. And then he like grabs Anita's hair, and he like she thinks that he's gonna fling her across the room, but he doesn't. And so what Anita does is Anita like eats his anger. She like sucks it down, and so Anita eats his anger. But then something goes wrong. She like ate too much of his anger, and he has like a 2-hour like mind gap. He does not remember when he like comes out of like Anita like sucking the anger out of him. He doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know how he got there. So Anita took too much. She's really not in control. She knows how to do it, but she doesn't know how to control it not to suck too much, like anger. So she pretty mind fucked him. Then apparently, like right after all the gunfights and everything, the news crews show up, and they start filming, and they have all this live footage of like all these bodies on the ground covered in white sheets. Zabrowski calls his wife Katie, and then Anita's like, well, I guess I should call, you know, my people. Anita decides to call Jean-Claude. And she basically, you know, tells him, these guys are willing to risk death than blood oathing themselves to you. But she thinks they were already blood oathed to someone in their bloodline. And, you know, pretty much Jean-Claude says, I'll have to think upon this. I have an idea of what it is, but I have to get with, like, my second command, which is Asher. Which, there's not enough Asher in this book, because I absolutely love Asher. But I'll get to him in a minute. So, basically, Jean-Claude is like, I have an idea of what's going on, why this is happening. And Anita's like, why can't you tell me? And he says, well, I just want to, you know, figure out if it's really true or not. So she's like, alright, I hate it, but I trust you. So then after she calls Jean-Claude, she calls Micah, and of course, you know, Micah is her Nimrah, and he's like, I understand, you know, this is what you do for a living. I understand that, you know, you're in danger, and I'm okay with that, and so is Nathaniel, even though they both worry to death about Anita. But then now there's this Cynric, who likes to be called Sin, which I think Cynric's a much better word, a much better name. He's all, like, new to the scene, and he knows that she's I guess, a federal marshal, but he still worries, and it just, like, throws her off, because she's used to everybody just accepting the fact that she does what she does. And now there's Cynric, who's just like, why do you have to do that? I fear for you. What if you were one of the dead bodies on the ground? And Anita pretty much tells him, if I was dead, you would know, because it would probably bring Nathaniel and Damien down with me, and if Nathaniel's okay, then I'm okay. And pretty much she says, Larry's like, I staked all the ones that didn't have enough damage to be reliably dead. I'll stake the rest and then join up the stairs. And Larry's like, join you for what? And Anita's like, you can work in one room with one suspect while I do someone else. It'll cut our time in half. And then Larry's like, what does that even mean, Anita? And she's like, it's my job to take the head and heart of dead vampires so they won't rise from the grave. It's my job to execute the vampires. Larry's like, well, if you do this in front of the live ones, it's like electrocuting a dead body in front of a death row inmate. And then Larry's like, you're a monster, you know, and Anita's like, well, if I can save dozens of human lives by torturing a vampire, what's the big fucking deal? The new Marshall is Marshall Bryce. And Marshall Bryce is pretty much fresh out of, like, school, and he's gung-ho, and he's decided that he wants to learn from Anita instead of Larry because Larry has gone soft. Well, Zabrowski, Bryce, and Anita all go out to dinner together, and Bryce is like, how do you handle living with, you know, more than one sweetheart, more than one sweetie? How do you guys not have, like, arguments and fights about who's sleeping with whom tonight and so forth and so on. And then he's like, everybody has pretty much found their place, so I don't argue with it. And then Bryce pretty much tells Anita that he's gay, but he doesn't want anybody to know he's gay because he's still in the closet. So Detective Arnett is like, do you guys remember a couple books back when Arnett is like, I'm gonna date Nathaniel, I don't care if he's Anita's. And Anita's like, well, I don't think that's gonna happen, but whatever. So now Arnett has her sights set on this Bryce. Oh, and finally, this book was not full of sex. I was really impressed by that. There were just a couple of her books. I mean, I love Laurell K Hamilton as an author, but there was just some of her books that I read once and I skipped those because I have a habit. If I have any downtime, I will read the whole series. I've read this whole series like more than once, probably more than a dozen times. But there are certain books that I will skip because of all the sex in it. I mean, it's not that I'm a prude, it's just I don't see the significance of writing smut. Because her books prior were really, really good. And then like this book, to me, it was a really good book. Maybe it was the fact that it didn't have all the sex scenes in it. There were sex scenes in here, yes. Let me get to the Asher thing. Asher's in this book. And it kind of made me sad because they decided that Asher needs to go away. And it's gonna break my heart because I have a feeling that he's actually gonna go away and not be in the books. But I guess apparently Asher was picking a fight with his new boyfriend because his new boyfriend, who is bisexual, wanted to sleep with women, and Asher's like, no, I don't want you to sleep with women, you're sleeping with me. And Asher's like, yes, but you get to sleep with Jean-Claude and you get to sleep with Anita, and why can't I sleep with another woman? And Asher's like, no, I said no, and that's just the rule, that's the law, I said. And so then he picks a fight with Nikki, which is Anita's bride, because she pretty much mind-fucked him like a couple books back. And picks a fight with Nikki and a couple other the people in Anita's group. And Jean-Claude's like, you're going to leave. You're going to go pack your bags and you're going to go to another city looking for a master of the city. And they have hyenas. And everybody knows that Asher's animal to call is the hyenas. So Asher's like begging, I don't want to go, I'm sorry. And Anita's even like, look, you know, you say you love me, I love you, you love Jean-Claude, everybody loves everybody, but you don't love yourself. You have to love yourself in order to be able to love us. And until you can do that, you're being a bitch. Pisses me off, but it's kind of true. Okay, actually, let's talk about one of the sex scenes. There's a sex scene between Anita and Nikki, okay, Nikki is Anita's bride. I said that earlier. And so Anita needs to feed the ardor, whatever you want to call it. And so her and Nikki have sex. The first time that her and Nikki have sex, she forgets to call the R door. And she's like, shit. Nikki's like, you forgot. She's like, shit, I forgot. So Nikki's like, give me a few minutes and we'll go for round 2, and don't forget to call the R door this time so you can feed it. Well, they're in the shower and, you know, they do their thing, and then Nikki's ready. And Anita, like, calls the R door, and she pretty much kills Nikki. She drains him, like, again, there she goes. She can't control anything. And she, like, kills him. His heart stops. So they call in all the medics, and they have a defibrillator, and so they have to, like, you know, zap him a couple times to bring him back. But they do. And then Jean-Claude's like, don't feel bad. Belle killed her first lover like that on accident. But Jean-Claude's like, but she did not feel bad, so don't feel bad. It happened. It's an accident. And then he is like, he's my bride. I'm responsible for him, and I just killed him. She literally fucked him to death. But they brought him back. So that was cool. And then, okay. Back to the end of the book. Okay. Alright, so there's a human servant at the police station. His name is Mr. Weisskopf. And he pretty much says, we want to kill you. We don't like you. We're going to kill you. That's here. In like this much of the book left, okay? Well, Anita finds out that there is a bomb at Guilty Pleasures. And she's like, big deal, it's closed. And then everybody's like, don't you realize that everybody goes in early to practice? Well, the people that are in there to practice are... Alright, Nathaniel's there, Nikki's there, Cynric's there. And so she's like, oh my god, all the people I love are there. And the bomber actually has Nathaniel, like, hostage. So Anita goes and, like, runs to the rescue. And it's pretty much what the bomber wants, because it's a trap. Because he wants to kill Anita and everyone she loves. So pretty much she goes and she's like, if I step in there, I know he's going to blow the bomb. And it's like a dead man's trigger. So even if Anita were to kill him, by him releasing the button when he falls, the bomb goes off anyway. So it boils down to, they like rush him. Nathaniel like is quicker and faster, so he like grabs his thumb and, you know, keeps his finger on that and like moves his thumb, and the bomb doesn't go off, and so everybody is safe. Then of course the bomb squad comes in and was like, okay, so they like snip the wires to the bomb, and everybody's okay. I mean, that's all like 2 chapters. And then the human servant gives her the names of all the other rogue vampires, and they pretty much go out and clean house. And that's pretty much the end of the book. I mean, the ending was really, really rushed. There was like 35, 39 chapters of, oh, this and oh, that, and then and the chapters aren't even like long chapters. So let's say just one long chapter of Anita finding out who the people are that's the bad guys and running to the rescue. Anita always runs to the rescue, which that really pisses me off, because yeah, I mean, she's the star of the book, I understand that, but does she always have to be the one doing the rescuing? There are other people quite capable of getting the job done without Anita right up their ass. So that kind of pisses me off about that. But anyway, so that's my book for you for Laurell K Hamilton's Kiss the Dead. I just want to say again thank you to my friend Jennifer for getting me this book, because she knows I absolutely love Laurell K Hamilton. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's my personal opinion. It's what I think about the book. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.